Amanda Lott, manager from SV Partners, just next door on the coast. We welcome you to Business Insider and to Commercial HQ.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see what you feel later, okay?
Okay.
You just relax, good. SV Partners been here on the coast for
5 years.
5 years?
Oh, 6 now.
Okay, cool. It's unusual space. What does it do?
Well, SV Partners is a firm of insolvency practitioners. So we're insolvency accountants, and we primarily deal with people and businesses that are in some form of financial distress. We're Brisbane based, so we're 8 years old. We were formed by 2 directors in Queensland. We've had a real growth strategy, so the 2 directors have turned into 95 staff now. We're across 3 states and we have 9 offices.
Quite a regional base too.
Yeah, we really focus on having offices in regional areas so that we can have dedicated people that know the business environment in those areas.
Mm-hmm. What's happened, you've seen a lot of changes in the Central Coast market, not least of all in the Australian market. So what impact has that had on your business?
Well, it's assisted our growth strategy. Obviously, there's been a lot more insolvencies in the last few years due to the GFC. So we've had a lot more clientele base and a lot more people are knowledgeable of the space that we work in. It's all about consumer confidence, and without people spending money, businesses will inevitably feel the pressure, and when they do and they can't pay their bills and they are in financial distress, people are very knowledgeable about where to go now.
And do they get in touch with you early enough? Because this is
it's a critical factor there. Business owners really need to be conscious that the earlier that they come to seek professional advice, the more options and strategies can be formulated for them and their unique business. Often we see businesses come to us just too late and the options are reduced. So it is critical to come early.
Because insolvency is one word, restructuring is another.
Yes.
And you'd much rather restructure than take them down the insolvency path, I guess.
Absolutely, and from an economic perspective as well, being able to do a restructure means that businesses, the suppliers and so forth can continue to make money out of a business that was struggling at one point in time, instead of it being wound up and there being a hole in the market there.
Okay. If we talk about a growth strategy for the next 12 months, what does that mean to you guys? How do you put actions into place to keep growing?
Well, for us it's all about client service, so we don't want to overstretch our resources and take on clients that we don't feel we can service well. But we have staffed up and we have a national resource base of professionals that we can call upon to assist us with our clients. As for opening up new offices, it's always a strategy that SV Partners has to continue our regional focus, which we've started with from the very beginning. So that will continue.
And on the Central Coast, in terms of numbers, has there been a significant growth in staff numbers?
In staff numbers, well, I'm really proud that we're one of the only insolvency firms on the Central Coast that not only have an office, but we have a fully staffed team here. We've got a team of 7 at the moment, and we're always looking to grow. We take on local people that are educated on the coast, they're Central Coast born and bred, so that they have the industry knowledge and the local knowledge to be able to help our clients.
Is there an understanding amongst accountants and, I guess, other advisors that you are in this space, or do they try and do it themselves and say, look, you don't need a specialist restructuring or insolvency group?
Each to their own. There are some really good accountants and lawyers out there, and there's also some really bad ones. It depends on their confidence and how knowledgeable they are in this space, but it is really important to get a professional that works in insolvency every single day to look at these issues, because every business is unique and you really need to sit down and take that uniqueness into consideration when forming strategies to turn around.
Let's talk about when you're involved in the pitch of your credentials. What are some of the values and qualities that you present on behalf of SV partners?
Well, at SV we really have a culture of integrity, which we promote to our clients, which speaks for itself. We also have innovative thinking, and we have the ability, because a lot of us in the staff are young, to apply fresh approaches to traditional styles of dealing with insolvencies.
And is that an issue, that there are very staid approaches, very traditional or conservative approaches? Is that an issue with your clients?
It can be an issue for the advice that they've sought from competitors. But at the end of the day, it's a business owner's decision what they want to do with their problem. So seeking advice from a few different professionals is always beneficial.
And do they come to, do the business owners generally ring you, or do they get referred through other networks?
Both. We have a referral base where we're known to accountants, lawyers and professionals on the Central Coast who recommend us for their clients that are in financial distress. But we're also well renowned on the Central Coast, so people do come to us without going to an accountant or a lawyer first.
Okay. When it comes to networking, how important is that for, you know, the local development of your business?
Well, being regional, there is no one size fits all for businesses and the advice that we can give to our clients. The Central Coast marketplace is very different to other places like Sydney. We need to be conscious of that. So networking and getting to know business owners and listening to the problems that they're experiencing and the strengths and weaknesses in the local market, it really assists me to help my clients because I know what they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. When it comes to, and you're a keen observer of the business environment on the Central Coast, is there anything there that you think, wow, if I could change that for an instant? This is your rant almost. This is the opportunity to get a point of view across, and we can change it like that, Amanda. You know, we have that power here at Business Insight. What would you want us to change? What would you want to change in the...
People opening their wallets and spending money locally.
Right.
It's a real challenge for businesses out there to keep their cash flow being generated so that they can in turn create more business for the Central Coast.
So it is about just, well, we have buy local. Spend money, is it?
Spend money.
Yeah, here.
Here, on the Central Coast.
Okay. There have been some legal changes with regard to personal security being offered, and there's not a lot of discussion in the marketplace at the moment. Are they strong and impactful laws that we're seeing come in, or?
Well, the Personal Properties Securities Register, which was set up from the 31st of January, that's going to create a whole lot of complexities for the insolvency world and dealing with an insolvency appointment, because the register allows suppliers and people with an interest in particular assets and property of a company to register their interest specifically in those assets. So when an appointment or an insolvency event occurs, we need to determine who has security to what assets. From an operational perspective, for an operating business on the Central Coast, it is really important to register your interest in those assets that you are supplying to people, so that if an insolvency event did occur to your client, you can claim title to those assets and they can be given back to you.
Because it's based on, as I understand it, possession now creates ownership almost. So if someone is hiring something to someone and that client goes into liquidation, then a liquidator could look at those assets and say, okay, well, they may be owned by someone else, but there's no registration of that. So
Correct.
It actually gets attributed to the insolvent client as part of their property.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So it is very important to register your interest in those assets so that you can claim the asset back or the proceeds of its sale.
Who would you be expecting to talk about this stuff?
Lawyers and accountants
Okay.
would be the best advisors.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Mm.
Thank you.